Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Peace be unto you. My name is Haywood Talib. And, well, I would like to just open with a kind of a statement. And I've taken it from the first flyer that was put out concerning this faith and blue forum. And the idea is how much depth the faith communities have and play in this kind of forum of law enforcement professionals and faith community. So let me just read this little note that I had here. That'll set my state. Well, let me say something also too. As far as a Muslim is concerned, I wasn't part of the Nation of Islam. I came in right after the transition. Transition was in 75, I came in 76. Then in 77, my wife, 4 children, we all changed our name. So we've been kind of in the different lanes that we were going with ever since 1977. And I'm not talking about AKA, I'm talking about for real. Driver's license, all kinds of utility bills and so forth. Whatever I have for identification, that's what's on my identification. It's just named Haywood Talib. So, let me read. This is Faith and Blue, Community and Law Enforcement Partnership. At the heart of this initiative of connection between law enforcement professionals and the communities of faith they serve is the houses of worship. There is no resource that can match the depth of the faith communities in facilitating productive engagement with law enforcement. That's a quote that was on one of our flyers, the very first one that I like. So we are aware that law enforcement many times come in contact with domestic violence, breaking and entering, street crime, teenage fights, etc., etc. I would like to share with our faith communities, not so much that you would have to become a Muslim, but just as a point of something that might be helpful. As Muslims, our faith tells us no gambling, no alcohol, no sex out of wedlock, which includes shacking up, no drugs, etc. And of course, Brother Yusuf just mentioned it, gave all of us a history of being connected with crime some kind of way. And those things that I just mentioned go hand in hand with crime. And these are the things, in order for the faith communities to really help the law enforcement professionals have an easier job. It's not going to be easy, period, and this that I mentioned is not something that's going to happen overnight, but we have found as Muslims that this is very, very helpful in helping us to manage our own lives. Because again, the bottom line comes into the hands of the person to manage his or her own life. But you also have to have a roadmap. And to just leave me and you just to ourselves, that's not enough. That's why God has blessed communities all over America and other places to have the faith communities. And that's the job of the faith community. So I mentioned, as it has been proven, that these things are present in most crimes. But if the church communities would consider prohibition of these things as a religious lifestyle, I think it would cut out or cut down a lot of crime in a large amount. And I say that because, again, any of you all that know anything about Muslims, that's the first thing you know. Muslims don't do that. Muslims don't play that. Oh, y'all don't do that because we have what we call non-Muslims telling us most of the time, hey, y'all ain't supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be here when they catch some of us out of bounds or doing what we're not supposed to be doing. And that's an interesting thing that you have somebody who hasn't accepted that as a lifestyle, but know enough about that lifestyle to tell the one who's supposed to be living the lifestyle, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. And what does that do? That puts them right back in line if he or she is trying to get themselves in line and maybe just slipped a little bit. But if we have that as a lifestyle, and I don't see this is something that can't be done in all of our faith communities. It might take away some of the attendance, but at the same time, they say quantity, what is it, quality is better than quantity sometimes, and that's what we're looking for. That's what we're having this for. We're having these things here not to just have a little party or get together and so forth. No, this is to be to help initiate lifestyle changes. So the idea of drugs, alcohol, all of these things, you know they are connected with a lot of emotions. And most of the time when the officers come up, that's the first thing they got to be aware of. Is a hell of an emotional thing going on here. There's plenty of fire. You know, you can see the fire coming out of the people's mouth and eyes and persons and all of that. So if we as a community and as a society would look at really helping, we're talking about feeding the people. Well, the people need more than just physical food. We need spiritual food. And spiritual food is the right kind of knowledge to be able to manage yourself. And one of the things I would have to say as a Muslim that I can't and don't and didn't accept the idea that I was born a sinful creature, that I'm sinful by nature. That's the success of the Muslims. That's the success of all faith communities. When they give their parishioners the encouragement to know that they can live a right life. You know, the idea of how do you become a Muslim and how do you become Christ-like is very much the same if we know. Now, if we know our religion, if I know what Islam is about, if I know what Christianity is about, or Judaism, or some Buddhists too, then we know that those things are very, very close. And one of the things that we have done here in America is to bring about a lot of interfaith activities, brotherhood, and all of these kinds of things. So I'll use that as my introduction. If any questions, I am from Fifth Ward. I'm a Wheatley 1958 graduate. And the brothers were talking about all these places that they don't know anything about the club matinee down there on Griggs. But that's Lick and Mom.
Brought back memories.
Yes, but it's interesting that we've had that here, but we've also had a very, very prosperous neighborhood business district and all of that up and down Lowndes Avenue, Jensen, where we were the other day, and so forth. But it just has changed because we have allowed ourselves to get weak, but the Satans have grown. Satan is still alive and he's for real. And I was told by a man, say that if Satan is to be present right now among us, it would have to be in one of us, some of us, or all of us. But if that's not the case, then Satan is not present at that time. So I thank you for your attention and thank you for the opportunity to be here.